You have just searched for copywriting persuasive content that sells, and all you find is crap from like 3+ years ago. Why is this? Because of only a few things. The Number one, the people that are trying to teach have no clue of what this means. Number two, it's way too complicated to understand. Three, no one wants to sit down and learn it because it seems too hard and they want the easy way out. And number four, everyone is turning to and using AI platforms. The problem with all these statements is that they are true, and with AI is even easier to break it down for you if you have the right prompts, but you don't know what you're doing. And believe it or not, that one small phrase, but you don't know what you're doing, is going to be your get out of content hell free pass. Because in the next 10 minutes, you're going to discover why your email and digital marketing content is locked inside content purgatory. Never to be found, looked at, read. And this is how to never end up there again. So your content not only gets opened, it gets read, it gets consumed, it gets talked about, shared with others, just like a 5-star gourmet restaurant getting those mouth-watering reviews. But first, we have to talk about your friend. You know, that one person who can't get anything right. Ever. Yeah, that guy. And we all have that one friend who is like that. The most inept human on the planet. They they can't drive, they can't work on their own car, they can't cook, can't play sports, can't really do anything the rest of the group does. However, they are our friend, just one of the guys. Now, suddenly you receive a text or a DM from this one special person, and it says, "Hey, tomorrow I'm going to replace the brake pads on my car all by myself." Your first response would be, "WTF, bro, don't even try. Have so and so come help you." He replies, "Nah, bro, I got this." The only thing that comes to your mind, but you don't know what you're doing. See, there's that phrase again. And this is just like your content and the reasons for it getting ignored. You want your creative aspects to sell. You want them to be read, to convert on a massive winning streak where revenue shares keep trickling in nonstop, 24 hours a day. But this takes real persuasive writing to do this. But you don't know what you're doing. That's because your content may seem bland, tasteless, no flavor, no enjoyment, not getting consumed the way we want it to. There's no spice, no kick to the content, no rewarding after effects. It's like opening a new restaurant and calling it the bland gourmet, where nothing is seasoned, flavored, no spices ever, not even a touch of salt. That restaurant would not last very long because it offers nothing worth consuming. Right now, that could be the version of your content. Bland, not worth reading. So, we're going to spice it up. We're going to add some seasonings, make it sizzle with excitement. We're going to Chef Ramsay the persuasiveness right into your content. However, there are a few steps to go over first before we can do that. One of those steps is something we talked about before, getting deep inside the reader's brain. We need to know what they are thinking and doing. So our content directly relates to their taste. What we want to do, we want to create content that, well, stimulates, drives emotions, which are very important, challenging their beliefs. We want to do this as effortlessly as possible, with words and phrases, suggestions, to help persuade them to our way of thinking, persuasive writing. Sounds simple, right? And it all starts with research. We also need to look at that one phrase, but you don't know what you're doing. You see, as writers, we can use this phrase in so many different ways. We can be, well, disruptive, leading, bridging the gap between topics, just like I did here in this video. I went from car repair, but you don't know what you're doing when it comes to fixing your car, to really good tasting food, but you don't know what you're doing by opening the Bland Gourmet. Then to content creation, but you don't know what you're doing to get your content read. All of it without you even knowing you're being guided through the content and using the same phrase, but you don't know what you're doing. And it doesn't have to be this phrase, it could be anything. However, we're going to use this as an example. So you can take something like this and start to incorporate it into your content. We have it the simple way, but you don't know what you're doing. Or leading, but you don't know what you're doing. Here's how it's done. Or disruptive, but you don't know what you're doing. Same words used differently, and all of them have a different effect on the reader. This is how we use some parts of persuasive writing, because we want to guide the reader to our way of thinking, and either being disruptive or leading is part of that secret sauce. So how do we do that? How do we create content that does all of that? Well, like I mentioned before, by doing research. Lots of research. So we know just what that one reader is thinking. And you've heard so many other course providers mention this. You write for one so millions can read. And you're like, I don't get that. Now, when I say that one reader, I don't mean just some dude named John Smith. For instance, John thinks this one bar and grill that serves the best bourbon style burger, it's mouth-watering, perfectly seasoned feast. Okay, he shows up. There's a long line waiting to get in. Those are the same people who also think like John. And those are the ones we write to. However, using John's way of thinking. See, that's where that comes into play. You write for one so millions can read. Sounds complicated, but it's not. We simply use the same language that resonates with John. And we know what that is because we've done the research. We've studied what John likes. You know, the perfect avatar, right? What brings him to that one place that meets his wants, needs, and desires when it comes to the best burger around. We do the same for writing for products, goods, and services, or a certain brand image, or even a vision of one day to achieve something. We call this presupposing, and is taught inside the copy shop. Finding out that one element that resonates with everyone is what we look for when conducting deep research into our prospect. Remember, getting deep inside the reader's brain, which is the number one downloaded guide, by the way, is not just a thing we here at the copy shop mention just to sound smart. No, it's what the whole copy shop team does when creating content. We find out what the reader is thinking by doing research. And we use a lot of those different AI platforms to do this with. That's what we already talked about. Using AI for deep research so we can find the areas of concern and create content around those areas to help lead, guide, and persuade. Now, this is simple stuff that no one else teaches anywhere. And it's so easy to do. So the next time you're thinking of your content and how to relate it to the reader, think of that one phrase, but you don't know what you're doing, and how you can use something similar, just like I did here in this video, to help guide, lead, and bridge topics together. Now, don't forget to get your free PDF guide, Getting Deep Inside the Reader's Brain. The link is in the description box below. Watch this video here next to get even more info on using AI for research. Like, comment, subscribe, because we really want to hear back from you.